Hello everyone, I'm gonna show you how I make cake that is already cut. So right here I have a 10-inch cake. I cut my 10-inch board. It's a carton board. Um, it's a foil. I put some foil on. So now I'm gonna put it on a cake just to see how big it needs to be. And I'm just gonna use my knife to see how much I need to cut. I'm gonna put a little marks on it. Now I'm gonna take this away and I'm gonna cut the piece that I marked it here. Have to be very careful to cut it straight. I'm gonna wipe my knife to make sure I'm gonna have a nice and clean cut. Also, my cake was in the refrigerator, so it's nice and firm. It's easier to cut if your cake is firm. So now I have a piece that I would like to put on my separate little carton board. So now I have two pieces. I cut the piece from here, and this is the piece that I cut. So now I have to cut this piece away, and so I can throw it away. And this piece here, I start putting my frosting, just like this here. So I'm gonna put frosting on this side also. So now I'm gonna cut the carton I have on my cake, so I can have like a nice and clean cut for the cake. So I'm using my knife and I'm just trying to cut it exactly where that piece was. So when it's ready, I'm gonna put some icing on my cake. Got some icing and I'm gonna go up because I don't want to get too many crumbs, and also it's a different icing here. And I am using buttercream to cover this place here. The same thing I'm gonna do with the other side. And also, so this piece here, it's already done. It's not like nice and smooth how I would like to, but I'm gonna put it in the fridge. It's gonna harden a little, and I'm gonna fix everything else that is not very smooth. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this side, and I'll come back. So now I put the buttercream on both sides, and this piece I'm gonna put in the refrigerator also, and after it's hardened I will show you how I decorate it next. Now I have my cake. I put another coat on my cake. It's a buttercream. I know it's not really smooth, but it's not gonna be really visible. So here I have a piece of fondant that I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna take my fondant, gonna roll it a little because it's gonna be easier for me to pick it up when it's rolled. Now we're gonna cover this part here. I want it to be white, so I'm gonna use my white fondant for that. Gonna put like bigger piece here. Now we're gonna try to put the fondant inside. So for that I'm gonna use my ruler to make sure it goes inside. Gonna use my smoother. And the excess that I have here, I'm gonna cut it. part when I can't reach, I'm gonna use my knife. But before you do this, make sure that your cake nice and firm. It's gonna be easier to do it. And now we're gonna cut the excess that I have on the top. I'm not cutting like exactly what I need, cutting a little bit more. And also on the sides, I'm gonna leave a little bit more. Gonna do the same thing on the other side. Just cut it. Now we're gonna go with my smoother again, and I'm gonna try to make my edges even. Trying to blend in my fondant with the frosting. Same thing I'm doing on my sides. Trying to blend in. So same thing I'm gonna do with my piece that I cut. On this part here, I'm gonna use a little bit different color. Gonna smooth it better. I'm gonna do my other piece and I'll come back. So right now I cover my piece that I cut from the cake with a fondant also. This side and that side. I did leave a little bit excess on the top. This one here. And now I'm gonna cover my back side. I decided to do it with a little different color. So I have kind of Irish color. I add chocolate fondant to my white fondant. And now I'm gonna try to attach it to my cake. So like this time I want my sides to be nice and even. Go with my hand, make sure it sticks, and I'm just gonna cut the excess. Like right now I'm gonna cut a little bit more because I don't see it from the other side. Okay. So, I almost did pretty good. Gonna cut just a little piece from here. Just gonna try to make it nice and even. And here I'm gonna leave just a little bit more than I need. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna try to blend in into my cake. Gonna do with my hands first. And now I'm gonna use my smoother. And I'm gonna go with my smoother. And just to cut excess that I don't need. There's my pizza cutter. Or you could use a knife also if you would like. And same thing I'm gonna do with my large piece. With my cake. And I'll be right back. And I'll show you how I do the top. I'm gonna do a chocolate. So I'll be right back. So right now I have my chocolate fondant. I'm gonna make a top. So because I did cover my sides with the cake, it's covered inside was white. So this is the piece that I use to cut a piece of cake, the whole circle. And now I kinda gonna use it to see how big I need it, but I want my chocolate to be like on the side, like it's dripping. So I'm gonna cut it a little bigger. Gonna go a little wiggly, like it's dripping. I don't think there's like a right and wrong way to do it. So like here I'm gonna try to cut the piece also, but not exactly like I have here. Just gonna cut it a little smaller piece, and this is what I have here. Now I'm gonna use the same carton that I cut. Stick to my table. I'm gonna put on my carton, and now I'm gonna try to slide on my cake. I think it's the easiest way, but I'm not sure this is the right way or wrong way, but this is how I do it. So now I have my fondant on my cake, and now I'm gonna see how I want my chocolate to be. I want a little bit to be on the sides here, but it's really straight here. I'm gonna make it more like natural way. Gonna cut it a little bit. So I cover my cake. Also I put a little water to make sure that my brown fondant sticks nicely. And now I'm gonna go with my smoother again. I want to make my edges a little round, not too sharp. This here edges that I cut, I'm gonna round it to make sure they're not sharp. And the same thing I'm gonna do with my piece. And I'll be right back. For the frosting, I want to make brown frosting, like a different color to use, like a pink. Like this one here I did already. So I'm gonna do on a piece here. So I'm just rolling like a little sausage uneven. I'm just squishing it. I want it to be like squished a little. I'm just pressing in my frosting. So I want it to make like more uneven. I'm using just the water. It's my brush. Gonna do just a line. Just my water and brush. This one here. It's good. And I'm gonna attach my frosting. Just squishing a little. Also, just turning and doing the same thing on that side here. And here, just gonna round it up a little. I'm gonna go back and squish it more. Make it more uneven, like frosting. So I have a little air here. Push it down. And now I'm gonna do one more here, the same way. Gonna put my water. Both sides. And I'm gonna do one more roll of frosting. same way, just squishing, making uneven. If it's not sticking, add more water. You could also use edible glue if you would like. I'm just using water. Works fine for me. And a little water to attach it. And that's all. Now I want to make kind of like more realistic. I'm just taking a small piece of fondant that I have the same color as this one. Making a little ball. It's my hands, and I want to make like a little drop, like chocolate dripping. And I'm just gonna attach like chocolate dripped, like on the back. Could I use a couple more, so actually need to be this way. Couple more like drip somewhere here. That's about it. And I'm gonna make probably the same thing on a bigger piece also. So this is my final product. I made a few cherries from the fondant, and also I stacked my cake. I used the 3 straws under the piece of cake for support, and I made a little cat. And I put the real sprinkles on the cake to give it more color. And thank you for watching my video.